Welcome to the Men's Convo once again. Today, we bring to you another episode. And this episode is about the current flood that is occurring in Ghana here. Now, our president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, visited London for a town hall meeting, and within which he addressed the nation that some of the causes of the flood in Ghana here is not an engineering problem, but rather it is the indiscipline of acts by the citizens in Ghana here. And which is why I'm seated here with you in the comment section to know if that's actually the problem. Is it we are to find out the core issues regarding to the people house full of water. Yeah, so we have to dig in deep and then see what is causing the problem.
The flooding in Accra is not an engineering problem. It is just a problem of indiscipline. It's not an engineering problem, it's a problem of indiscipline. We have drains, and everybody says, why don't you do sealed drains? But the problem is when we do sealed drains, people drink sachet water, they eat papaya in those styrofoam plastics, and they just dump them anywhere. And these plastics wash into the drain, and they go and block the drain. And so if you have to unclog the drain, you have to remove all the drain covers and clean it out. You clean it out, you cover it again. In the next 3, 4, 5 months, they have clogged again. But that is not even the major problem. The major problem is the location of Accra. You have the Kwapim mountain range and you have the Atlantic Ocean. Before people came to Accra, you had the Lafa stream, you had the Densu, you had the Sakumo stream, you had the Kole stream, you had the Odo stream. All of them were rainwater that falls in the mountains that flow through to the Atlantic Ocean. Then you come and build a city in the path of those streams. What do you expect the streams to do? And even if you build, leave the causeways. If you come to London, you see the canals in the city. If you go and build a house in that canal, where will the water go? It will go back into people's houses. Unfortunately, Nanan Misremu, our traditional rulers are selling plots in streams. It's not this Nananuma I'm talking about. We have places they call Ramsar sites. These Ramsar sites are wetlands. And they say that migratory birds come from Europe during the winter. They come and spend vacation with us in Africa. Then when they finish the vacation and it's summer, they fly back. And they decided to protect the Ramsar sites because of the migratory birds. But let me tell you what the Ramsar sites do. They are wetlands. So when they receive the water from the Kwapim mountain range, the Ramsar sites are huge wetlands. So they absorb the water into the wetlands and discharge the water gradually into the ocean. So if you build and you fill and build, you fill and build, you fill and build, you are reducing the size of the Ramsar site, of the wetland. And so when the water comes, what is left cannot contain the water. And so it will overflow and flood people's houses. I've seen from the air, helicopter, a stream coming from the Kwapim range, and then it reaches somewhere and they've built across it. And so the stream has nowhere to continue. So it will flood your houses and flood houses of people behind. Now when government takes action and begins breaking people's houses out of the waterway, the same people will say, hey, hey, that's our problem.
With that, he emphasized that municipal officers and town planners are who actually play active engagement in land selling. If I say land selling, runway, ransom lands to individuals and the citizens, or individuals or citizens to actually build, and then some of them even used for industrial purposes. He emphasized and made it clear that whoever is caught in this act would definitely and would lose his or her job. Now, the issue here is not just about them losing their job. The issue here is, how do we get this done? Because his government is actually doing well. We can all attest to that. But how do we get these issues done? After he has finished his tenure of office, another government switch in, or if not another government, a different person takes over. Now the question is, how would they maintain this policy? We know him to be do by action. King sells lands to individuals, and they know very well that where these lands are being sold are runoff way for water. Yet still, they still sell this land for the individuals. How will these kings be punished? We know in Ghana here, most of the kings have land guards and stuff, and yet still they misbehave and nobody sees any action. But we have seen some of these people being punished by Mahama's government. But my problem here is, how do we maintain the law in a way that it will still act if the NDC is out of power? Now, His Excellency again said that these issues are being caused by individual activities, which is the Ghanaians. So, what's actually the problem? You will see an individual, a rush of water running off. You will see an individual holding a full boiler, rubbish in a sack, quickly pouring it in this run of rush water. So the question here is, whose watch is the watchman? Now, the government must set up institutions. These individuals must be punished, because I've been seeing most of these people being recorded, posted on the social media, but I've never seen the government even arresting any of these individuals. If an individual is being recorded, posted on the media, he dumping refuse into a rush of water, the government must act quickly, trace this individual, get a person arrested, and that will serve as a deterrent to the others who does that. So the question is, who does that? Now let's move away from that question. Zoom Lion, who's supposed to provide dustbins for us to, when I was started growing up, I knew sometimes Zoom Lions distribute these bins to individuals in each community, and even there is this big bin in associated away from the community, but whenever ones want to dump rubbish, walks towards this big bin, dump this refuse in them. Now the question is, where are those things? He who watches the watchman is dead. The Zoom Lion, who's supposed to take care of our environment, our cleaning, our hygiene of the environment, is not working. So at this point, I think the government must also act strong, awake them to also do their work. Because I believe most of the citizens in Ghana here don't have dustbins. And then unam kroma, who dustbins for institutions, banks, factories. Possible who dustbins won't cover fear there hardly. So I think the Zoom Lion should also be active doing. Get dustbin for individuals in the community. Come around at least in the crown 2 weeks in a month to collect these bins. Be active. Aside that, the kings who keep on selling the lands to the individuals, how do we deal with them? Because here comes the case, a king is like, I owe the land. I was there before the president was even installed as a president. So what can he do to me? How do we deal with these people? If you have an action, if you have anything to, regarding to how to deal with these kings, let me sit down in the comment section. Now, regards to these individuals who have built at the runoff way, these individuals possess licenses. Not that they just stood off and then they decided that, oh, they want to go and build at this individual place. But the question is, they had licenses. This license was given to them by these municipal officers and town planners and even some firefighters. They are top officials who are engaging into this for their selfishness beneficiaries. They know that they don't care. After all, I don't stay there. So if I sell the land for you, after all, if you build, who dies? And the case is, this man also have money. You go bomb the place with a whole lot of feeling, then strata its building. At, at the end of the day, it is the poor man who suffers. Because now when it starts raining, the rain wants to locate his house. The house is filled. So now it has to now locate a new house, and that's where the poor man start crying. So breaking of individuals' houses is good, all right, but the cost must be dealt with, which is the officials who are really engaging into this bribery and corruption. So my issue here is the government itself is corrupt. If we want to get this issue solved, we have to deal with the individuals, the top officials in the government who are under this belief selling lands, which are not meant to be to these individuals. Secondly, Zoom Lion, the government must awake Zoom Lion because after their license has been renewed, currently I don't see anything, I don't see any activities being done by Zoom Lion. Bastard boys have been Charlie, shout out to Bastard Boy. These guys have even been doing town hall policing. This man will take camera, walk around, be shooting individuals who are dumping refuse around just anyhow because they care about the environment. Just so they are all hearted, remove gutters, and by tomorrow we see Choba woman pouring this kind of rubbish and water into the bin again. They deserve slaps. So this is where Zoom Lion must act. Zoom Lion before them has an agency. Where they arrest, where are they? Zoom Lion has big dustbins. Where are they? The community itself don't have dustbins. So where do you expect the individuals to put the dustbins? Where? Now, first, Ghana had a few population. That wasn't that much. So usually they used to have a small place that they pour dustbins, refuses, and burn them. The question is this time around, all these lands have been sold. Where? So he just packed the beans into some sack. It should be quick because he doesn't have any place. So the government must focus on reproducing dustbins for the citizens. And after that, there must be agencies because if there's no law enforcement, who watches the watchman? There's at least community, small community. We have about five or three agencies who goes around to check the community. Now, regards to the individuals building exactly at where rain have to pass, I mean the ransomways and so forth on. See, these individuals, it's not their fault, but yet still it's their fault. Because you know very well that this place is not meant to be built or to even build a house there. But yet still, you too, because the land has been sold to you at a cheaper price, you also buy it. Not long ago, we lost about 150 men just because of these issues. Selling lands that are not being meant for building for individuals. And yet still, people are even more buying these lands and failing. So, to me, I suggest the government must hit hard on these our traditional chiefs in our community. This government is actually doing well and they must stand on their toes. Arrest people who are selling lands that are not meant for building, individuals who are also dumping refuse on inappropriate areas, run off waters. All these individuals must be arrested. And with this, I'm sure the government Ghana and Ghana as a whole will stand up right. So these are some of the few things that I suggest the government must look up to. Waking up a call for the Zoom Lions to produce the beans for the community. At least providing agencies who would move around the communities, arrest individuals who dirty their community. These are the few I suggest, and I hope this current government will work on it. Peace and out.